So hello guys, welcome to the first introduction video, and we are going to do some introductions on the basics. So we start with HTML. So HTML stands for HyperText Markup Language. So it's the most basic building block of the web, and it's used to structure the contents of a web page. It include other languages such as CSS and JavaScript for functionality and behavior. CSS is just to make things look good and stuff. So hypertext refers to like links that connect web pages together. It can be on the same web page or like in between websites or even web pages. So HTML has many elements. They call them markups. So these are few of them. We'll be using most of this over the next few lessons. So HTML elements starts with tags, and those tags have this like greater than and less than signs between them. So there is an opening tag and there is a closing tag, which makes up a HTML element. So and the tags are like you can write them in capital letter, lowercase, or higher case, but that greater than and less than is the thing that makes them different from just every other text in your HTML document. So with that out of the way, let's move to the next part, which is an IDE. So the IDE we'll be using is VS Code, and IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. So go ahead and download VS Code because that's what we'll be using. Although you can download other IDEs, there are many other IDEs out there, but VS Code is like the industry standard and the one I recommend us to use. So there's a lot of benefit to using VS Code to write code, and you get to see that. So guys, once you've downloaded the VS Code, you can just open it up like this. And initially you see something like this. Maybe not exactly, but it may look like this. And then you go to file and you open a new folder. Then you can create a new folder with any name you like. So here I'm just going to create a folder and you open it. So once you have this working, you click on new file icon, that icon up there. So you file anything you like. So index.html. Notice that the extension will be .html. It's very important, please. And also you can't name the file with capital case or add spaces to it. It's not recommended that you name the file with any of those. You should just use lowercase, and you can use dashes or hyphens, but you shouldn't use capital letter. So once you have that out of the way, go ahead and create our first HTML element, which will be HTML, the HTML word itself. So anything you type in between these two tags will be acknowledged by the browser. So anything outside of it will not be rendered by the browser. So there are two main parts of HTML. The first one is the head, which is what we tell the browser secretly about your web page. And one of the things that we'll be using today will be the title element. So in the title element, you can name your page anything you want to name it. So and then the next one will be the body element. So inside of the body element will be anything that you want to show up on the page. So the first element we'll create is a heading tag, H1. H1 is the biggest heading tag in HTML, and it's advisable that you use one H1 tag in your web page. Not your entire website, but just on that page, you should use just one H1 tag. And then the next one will be writing with the paragraph element, which just has P in it. So you just type P and then tab. So just P and then tab. So anything right inside of this opening and closing tag will be considered a paragraph. So let us write hello world. So and then you press Ctrl S to save. That little dots on your file will just go away. So and again, guys, don't worry about this icon that you see there. It will not be on your own VS Code. I'll show you guys how to get that and many other things later on. Many other things to make working with VS Code easier. So let's just right click and then reveal in File Explorer. So you click drag into your browser to open. I already have it open, so yeah, it's the same thing. So that is what we have rendered on the page. You can see that. And notice the title is it's not showing up on the page itself, but on top of the page. So that's what that is. So let's add a little bit of style. We're not going into CSS yet, but this is just like a style to just save our eyes from the white thing there. You can change the background color, the font size, and then the text color. I'm using white smoke here. This is just like an off-white color. Not really white, but just like off-white. So once you refresh, you can see the changes and get a little bit of glimpse on what CSS does really. So yeah, while this is okay as an HTML file, there is some other things that are missing, which are like key parts. If you want this HTML to render the same on every browser. So those things are like, I know the things that show up on the page itself. The first one is really, really important. I omitted it in the first place to just show you to just simplify. And the first one is doc type. Let me just type it. Doc type and then do keyword HTML. Add exclamation mark at the beginning. So this comes before any other thing in your HTML file. Always in every HTML file, this always comes first. So basically, if you can read it, you just see doc type. So you can translate it to document type HTML. So this is telling the browser, hey, this is an HTML file. It's not like JavaScript or CSS. So the next one will be under the header. So it's just like telling your page this is the language of the page that you are rendering. So you may be writing Yoruba, Hausa, or Igbo. So how does the browser knows that? We do that by writing this piece of code here. I'll explain what it does really, but you just write look closely actually. You see that there is a parenthesis and then equals to. This is like assigning this whatever language you write here will be assigned to the language attribute under the HTML tag. So you write en or fr or maybe any other language you are writing your page in. Then the next one will be a meta tag, and it will be under the head because the head is always where you write your meta tags. And then the meta tag we are writing today is like an encoding meta tag. So like tell the browser, hey, the way you encode this page is not like every other text file or like any other Word document. This is the HTML file. You should render it as such. And the way we do that is specify a character set. The character set will be specifying is UTF-8. Even when creating let's say maybe Word documents, use UTF-8, which is like an encoding convention. And one more thing, guys, meta tags are not using the same closing tags as every other HTML element. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you guys learned something today, and let me know if there's any part you want me to go over once more.